Okay, it's right there. Just give me a sec while I post the links and everything, and we'll be good to go. Hello, folks. Welcome to the Blood Bowl Analyst stream. I know normally Gladiator does this, but I'm taking over from today, and I'm joined by my guest,
Molt.
Molt, and our other guest will join us later, hopefully, which is the incomparable Bright Ops, if he's not being held up too much. But yes, today is week 10 now, and sorry I'm a little bit distracted. I'm just trying to do all the links and all that, so do bear with me, folks. I am trying my blinking best, but it's yeah, Glad's really left me in the right in it after, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a bit of a lurch. So this is just finishing up week 9. We're just moved on to week 10, but we're going to do the analysis of week 9 first. We've already got 2 games played in week 10 already, so there's already some analysis to be done on those, but we'll start with this week first. Had a couple upsets. We saw the Dark Elves, who had a nice run streak, gets taken down, and we saw Chaos get taken down by Johnny. So yeah, there's a few interesting matches here,
Yep.
and we'll get into some details soon. But yeah.
Yep, and it was a bit of an unusual week, I gotta admit. But excuse me, wasn't before we actually properly start. I'm just about to drop the links off for people so they can watch the matches. Watch the match. Analyst. Right, that's that done. Let's get to business. So yes, week 9 was a bit of an unusual week. I have to admit, a lot of upsets were happening, and a lot of injuries
Yeah,
and
there's a lot
death.
of weird results that you weren't expecting. People not winning as much as you'd think they win by, or people winning when you think they were going to lose. So it was quite an interesting week.
Indeed it was. Indeed it was. And we'll start off at the top of the bill with yourself versus the Sterling Stitches. I have to say, when I watched the match, you looked like had things under control, but then something happened. Cause
Yeah, the tide of dice fell upon me, and I was crushed. There was a perfectly well played game. Don't want to take away from my opponent. GW Rules did a good job. But yeah, unfortunately, the armor dice and injury dice were not exactly in my favor, and I ended up with I think 6 in the cast box with 1 death. With one of the, I would have had 1 more cast if I hadn't used my apothecary. And I think I usually had 1 or 2 guys in the KO box as well. So I had about 3 or 4 guys in the field at any one time by the kind of latter half of the game.
yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the statistics now, and I mean, you're both in equal in ball possession, which is pretty good, and you did occupy a lot of time in your own half, and I'm just looking at the blocks. I mean, he was doing a lot of work with blocking. I have to admit, he did a lot of work with blocking. But yeah, wow, you really did get beaten up pretty badly though.
Yeah, it was like covered like 3 times as many blocks, but 6 times as much damage kind of thing was going through. So yeah, it was just converting a lot really efficiently. It was great for his SPP. Like he made a ton of SPP out of that game. I think it was like 25 or something.
Yep.
So it was really nice.
Yes, and I'm also looking at your you know, the dice, and admit you've rolled a lot of dice. You had a lot of you had a lot of ones, but at the same time you had a lot of fives. So you did quite well.
Yeah, I had a lot going. My going for it's are really low unusually. 66 as opposed to the 83% you'd expect. And I had a tendency for all my casualties and injuries to go really badly, which was just. I think that was the big part because otherwise my dice are they're okay, perfectly reasonable. Some of the pickups are under pressure, so they didn't have to be at 83%. But because I started taking injuries, then you're down a man, then you're down 3 men, and now you're down 6 men. And then, yeah, it was just going to be harder and harder to control the ball. There was a significant difference in POWs for both teams. We were both kind of like figuring out, everyone was saying during the match, there's a lot of POWs in this match. I wasn't sure if it was his side or my side.
Yeah.
But no, we both had like double. Well, I had 11 to POWs to 5 skulls. He had 32 POWs to 20 skulls. So we both had great power to skull ratios, but he had just that extra volume of an extra, 12 as opposed to 5 more.
Yeah.
So yeah, my blodge was not doing much work.
No, but also, I mean, if we look at also your opponent's dice, the one who I'll be facing later, um, he hardly had done any use of the dice, but as you said, even in the
Yeah, he was very controlled, very much just block, block, block. He did a few things that I found interesting. He did a few handoffs. Like you see the amount of catches he made.
yeah,
Some of that was some bounce in the middle, but he did quite a few handoffs and moving the ball around. But other than that, he played relatively safe. It was just his armor roll, one failure out of 1994%, which was
yeah,
a little bit brutal.
it was, it was. But I mean, the loss of your blitzer, I believe, that was killed, that could be a bit of a crippling blow for you in the long run.
It was a line elf, but he did have block, and
Yeah.
he was just about to level up a second time. So he was going to be like a fake blitzer with blodge in by probably the end of this match or the next. So yeah, that's a bit of a painful blow. Luckily, I've got the cash in the bank to pay for it, but it does take me down and weakens that kind of big line of block I've been building up.
Yep. And now we move on to the next game. And this game, all I can say about this game is Nuffle favored Johnny to the bloody hilt. Would you agree?
Yeah, this is pretty one sided from the looks of things.
I've watched this game and I've never seen a Nuffle in my life. I mean, I felt so sorry for Pig Dog. I felt so sorry for him. He was just getting absolutely nuffled to the hilt. Nothing was going for him.
Yeah, it's like 15 skulls to 9 pounds for him, and his opponent gets 26 pounds to only 16 skulls. Just brutal blocking dice in there.
Hmm.
And then a lot of also for the Midgard Raiders, both downs, which for his team with the block everywhere is amazing. So
It
yeah, it looks pretty brutal.
it was, and to make matters worse for poor Pig Dog, he only got 5 SPP, and that was his star player. That was his MVP player. That's it.
SPP from his end.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, I have never
Yeah,
seen such a nuffly in my life. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
yeah, two major upsets already into this particular week. It was certainly an unusual one.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that I didn't watch this match, but I'm glad to see the lightning bolt went off. So that was at least something that went well. Wait, is the lightning bolt from Chaos or was that from Midgard Raiders?
Was I believe Chaos? I believe. Let me check
Let's
up.
check which one's the bigger team. 13. No, yes, it would have been from Chaos. So at least
Yeah.
the lightning bolt actually worked. That's something. It would be cruel and unusual if Knuckle took that away as well.
Yeah.
But you couldn't make up that kind of fountain of block.
No, you couldn't. It was ridiculous. But anyhow, we move on to the next match, and this one was interesting. The Warhammer Locusts versus the BMS Cheerleader Squad. And I have to
Yeah,
say,
this one's a
yeah, as you say, Bolt, because you kind of cut out there.
the bigger thing about this. Oh, sorry. The big thing about this is the fact that the Warhammer Locust kept them to 1-0. Considering how good the Amazons are early on, and that this is, well, it's better than some stunty teams, but it's still a stunty team. You'd have figured they would have been walked all over by a very competent coach. Glad's competent as well, but when you got two competent coaches and they've got different teams that are one's significantly better than the other, you expect a bit of a larger difference.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think this match was the first one Deborah was out. I'm not sure if was this match where she went out or was she out for this match already.
No, no, she was in for this match, but she was injured. And the thing about Deborah is, as we're going to cover right now, as I'm going to show people the team, this is most important for all you Blue players who are going to watch this later or watch it right now. Deborah is out for the next game, and she is suffering an armor injury.
Yeah, and that's huge. That's halfling level armor right there.
Yep. And as well as that, Mary Jo, she's out for the next game as well with a miss next game. Which you gotta give, you have to give Glad credit. He had a game plan. Okay, it didn't work out for him, but when it came to injuries, he stood the task.
Yeah, he did a great job considering going into this match. You wouldn't have expected him to come out so well. And definitely being able to take down Deborah is huge for the rest of the league because that is, the star player of that team clearly. Once you start getting movement increases as Amazons, you're going to be the one who runs the ball, and then you start getting more and more SVP, and it starts snowballing. So to take her out, I honestly don't know what he's going to do with her. You could keep her on as like as the fast touchdown piece on the bench. You wouldn't want her exposed for any time length of time, but it's a lot of TV to be sitting on the bench not doing anything otherwise. I'd probably end up cutting her.
Yep. And as we look now at the Warhammer Locust, unfortunately, this is a little bit, misleading, guys, because as many may not know, Warhammer Locust did do his Week 10 match, so this will be a little bit, a bit misleading as some people have been injured and out. So we'll have to deal with that later on. But I have to give credit to Glad. He did well. He injured the two Amazons because let's be honest, you and the Amazons are we're getting a little bit too powerful, and we were hoping some would actually try and cripple you. I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely those two teams that have gone through with minimal damage. I think they've suffered a few more casualties than me, but they've been like relatively cheap line women. But yeah, that's the big hit that you really didn't want to see. I'm sure Gajur is very annoyed.
Well, let's move on to the next match, which was the Serial Killers United versus Better Than Humans, or as Bronky loves to call them, Less Than Humans.
Yeah. There's been a lot of back and forth between those two, between him and Eternal. It looks like he's managed to get on top. He's slowly been climbing the rankings as high elves to try and get on top of the humans.
Yep.
I didn't watch this match. Just to
No.
look at it, though, it looks like a lot of failed catches for the serial killers. So I'm not sure
Yep.
if they got knuffled or that's a bunch of bounces in some scrum that didn't go so well.
I would say must have been a bit of an unusual match because I'm looking at the SPP. Now, I didn't see this match either. I don't think Dai even aired the match, so I don't know what's happened. But as far as I'm aware from what I saw from Discord and what I'm seeing right here, it seems like the Serial Killers United only got 5 SPP from the star player, and Captain America had a field day. Must have done a lot of passes and scoring because Spider-Man is the one who scored 2 touchdowns, and Captain America was doing a lot of passing in that match.
Yeah, he seems a lot more active based on these dice.
Yeah,
It's quite interesting. Serial killers had really bad armor, considering the team. You think they have some decent armor, but they are doing 64% success rate. So looks like they suffered a little bit from some blocking. But yeah, it's going to be hard to beat a team with that kind of high elf development that has such a strong thrower. Um, yeah, if he wants to score, he's going to score basically. You just
yeah.
got to try and grind him down enough that you can win.
And also with 0 injuries and deaths on both sides, I mean, this must have been a very light hitting match, but a lot of mostly passing and running. And for poor Maz, the undead are not suited for against passing speed, by the looks of it.
Yeah, yeah. If you get those elves get away from you, you're not going to catch them. So yeah, it's bit of an unfortunate one for him. But yeah, you're certainly seeing the Captain America thrower, which is accurate and agility 5, really probably playing the main role in that game, I suspect.
Yeah,
And he's always a threat. You just put the ball on that guy, and then you have to cover the entire field because he can throw it anywhere. Like he can just throw it to the other end and be like, I was just going to outrun you to there. You're not even going to get there in time. So
yeah,
yeah, you got to be very careful.
yep. And like before, like Gladius, these two players have just had their week 10 match. We'll cover that in a minute. So unfortunately, I can't show the teams at the moment because they've already had their matches, and it'll be a bit misleading. So we move on to the next match, and this one was interesting: the Amber Knights versus the WWE Dwarves v Bretonians.
Yeah, both relatively bashy teams, and it's interesting. The Amber Knights actually are quite decent against the dwarves because they've got quite a bit of wrestle, and so that battle line of dwarves that is just immovable, you can actually make some holes in and work your way through. Let's go have a look at the dice. Oh, there's a wizard involved. That's nice. Looks like the Amber Knights had some trouble catching the ball. Not sure if it was
Yep.
bouncing or, but it doesn't seem like they had great ball handling. They picked it up all right, but just couldn't, kind of hand it off to anyone. And the dodges weren't great either. But that, it's how it goes with dwarves. You can have trouble with that.
Well, the thing is, though, I think the Amber Knights struggled quite a bit in that match. I mean, I did watch the match. I mean, I felt sorry for the dwarf player. He could have won the match, but it's just the Amber Knights were just stubborn. They would not get out of his way. But at the same token, but at the same time, if you look at it from the dwarf's perspective, able to hold off Oath Knight for quite some time was a good run for him. He held off.
Hmm. Yeah, and it looks like there was a lot of KOs and an injury inflicted by the dwarves, so they're certainly getting some block damage in.
Yes.
They both interesting. Both sides had below average going for it, so they both had trouble moving around the field. Obviously, that's a bigger problem for the dwarves than it is the Amber Knights. So yeah, it's certainly probably not a fast-paced game, but looks like it was more of a drawn-out brawl
Yep.
that just kind of ended up going nowhere.
Yep. And we also had another shocking thing. We saw a dwarf pass.
Oh, really?
Yes, the dwarves
Oh my!
actually made a pass. They're the only one that made a pass, and I hope that dwarf knows what he's doing because he'll be ridiculed in the drinking halls if they find out.
Yeah, big trouble. That's elf play. Get away from that.
Yeah, that's elf play, not dwarven play. Dwarven play is about bashing and running. But hey, whatever works. I mean, a pass could win you the game, and he tried it and it succeeded. But hey, good on you. It's SVP in the end.
All right.
Right, so we
I
move
guess
on.
next up, Goth Clan versus the Goddamn Rats.
Yeah, this match was. I mean, I'll be honest. The first half was just utter brutality for the poor guy. It was utter brutality in the first half for him. And
Oh dear.
yes, oh dear's right. I mean,
That armor, 43%. Ouch. That is not what you want to see as armor. That's like halfling armor.
yeah. And as you look at my SPP, I mean, Moorbrug, Wazdaka, and Gutlick were having a field day. Those people were having a freaking field day.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, I mean,
I might, as a quick comment to Goddamn Rats as a future reference, you may not want to go with stab players against orcs. The stab is not great against high armor, and they tend not to, dodge. So kind of prehensile tails and the like isn't that great either. There may be a better star player. I don't know, but I think there's a Storm Vermin that would probably be the kind of guy. I think he comes with a Claw or maybe Mighty Blow or something. That
yeah,
would be really quite nice against orcs. So just as a future reference, so if you play against my team next week, this week coming up, stab will work against my witch elves, but against everything else, it's going to be mediocre. So have to
yeah,
think about what you want to do, make it more value out of something else.
yeah. But also for the goddamn Rams, they lost a player permanently. He got killed during the brawl. Yeah, and 4 Stain. But also a very interesting thing I did in the game where I performed a long bomb pass.
Really?
Yes, I performed.
Wow, I tried that in my game against Glad, a 5-up long bomb, like in the last kind of turn to try and steal the draw, and I failed.
Yeah, you really ought to watch that match, mate. That you should see it. It's on my channel, and I performed a long bomb pass to try and get the ball away from his gutter runners. And the biggest I would like to call the icing on the cake of the shit cake for the goddamn Rats was his lone star player got the MVP.
Yeah, that's just brutal. That's
It was.
it's almost as bad as the player dying and taking your MVP with you. Cruel and unusual.
Yeah.
So, how would you say your feelings were in the match in terms of your play? Did you feel like everything was tight, or were you just kind of like getting to the point where it was going so well that you were just kind of having a bit of?
To be honest, I kind of felt sorry for him after when I scored the touchdowns and pretty much sent his players to the bin. It was like, yeah, but I mean, the one thing is though,
Yeah.
I fouled 3 times in this game and I got expelled all 3 times. I couldn't believe I was thinking.
That's
I thought, Nuffle,
working
what
with
the?
the Steelers.
I thought, Nuffle, what the hell are you doing, buddy? You're letting me run rough shot. You're allowing me to beat the living snot out of him, but yet every time I try to stamp on him, you're sending me off. Come on.
He wants a nice clean game where punches and no stomps.
That's not Blood Bowl. But the worst thing is for him though, he did lose a gutter runner who was missing next game, and he lost a proper player. However, he does get his strength free gutter runner back against you, so at least he's got something to work with.
Yeah, and that is a really nice player. it's really quite hard to get a hold of those guys in the best of times. And if they're strength 3, you then you now have 2 players try and get free of a scrum and get over to one before you can make any reliable takedown. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to probably rely on tackle. But my tackle piece doesn't have blocks, so if we're all
Yeah.
both down, well then that's the end of my turn as well. He can just get back up, grab the
Yeah.
ball, and keep running with it. So
Yeah.
it's certainly going to be interesting.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if you look also with the as well with the goddamn rats is, I mean, at the ending he got a touchdown in the end because Nuffle decided, you know what, I'm gonna be kind and give him a touchdown, and well, he did. It was hard to try and give her that last gutter runner, but what are you gonna do? Anyhow, let's move on to the nefarious reptiles versus the Strickland family. Well,
So we've got the good old Nuffle as in the Illuminati, with their excellent names. Has anyone killed Trump yet?
nope,
Is Trump still?
no, he's
Ooh,
still alive. Trump's still alive, but this match was the Clinton email show because the Clinton email show was kind of was doing all the touchdowns for Bright in that match.
yeah, doing the heavy lifting makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Ooh,
To be honest, with you, there was hardly.
yeah, going for it are low as well. There's a lot of matches that going for it are quite low. I think the grass must have been lubed up or something. Someone's out there with some lard and just
It sounds like your cat having wants a word with you.
yeah. He's also telling us that he doesn't like this elf play.
I felt. I mean, to be honest, this match was pretty much I like to call just a bit of a bruising affair, but it was kind of I was thinking a bit subdued because neither side could literally like take advantage of the other. It's just it came down to the Skinks hopefully getting the ball and trying to get to the touchdown as quick as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they really struggled forward despite the number of KOs that were inflicted against them. The
Oh
Chaos
yeah,
Wolves did 7 KOs to only 2. So probably the skinks getting dropped left, right, and center. But as long as one skink lives, you've got a ball handler and they're quick. So I suspect,
mm. And as we all know, Russell Trump is the main target everybody wants to kill at the moment because he is one of the
yeah,
best.
he's the number one killer. He's mass murderer at this point.
I don't know if he is the mass murderer number one at the moment, but we'll look at that at the Hall of Fame at the end of this stream. But I'll be honest, I mean, he's built up quite a team rep now. Bright. He's got now 1,500, so he's in the high echelons. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
he's pushing his way up there.
he's supposed to be up, and New World Order is pretty much one of the most dangerous players you got to watch out for.
Yeah, he's you do not want to be hanging around anywhere near that guy because he will make your life miserable.
And he's got jump up and kick for Clint's email, so we can see where this guy's going.
Yeah, I was just New World Order is just going to be near. I think they need one more movement increase to get a perfect one-turn touchdowner.
Yep.
And Russian Trump's going to stomp in your face and stab you to death on the ground. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's got some really nice skinks that have.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, skinks do not make it to their second or third level, but we're already seeing Russian Trump approaching his third level up. He's got 3 more SPP to go. So a guy is. I mean, if you could get him block or something to keep him alive, I don't know. I don't usually play this one. I don't know if it's a good choice, but yeah, he's certainly doing very well.
Yep. And we also got Bubba for Strickland family. He leveled up, and now he's got Block and Mighty Blue,
Ooh, very nice.
and that's
Yeah,
that's
I've been impressed with how the team's gone in this time. The fact that he's gotten his sure hands now makes his life a lot easier. And that Hobgoblin with 4 strength is still alive. I thought he was going to get
yeah.
crippled one game, but
No,
he's
he
doing
is.
well.
He's well, he's got Block now, so he's hard
Good
to.
luck taking him out.
Well, we'll see, we'll see. But and finally the final match of the week, and this was quite the drumming. Ronky's Wonkers versus Painful Suffering. Ooh, there was some suffering in this
Yeah,
match.
a big bash. A lot of injuries and a kill. The
Yep.
unfortunately the lineman died, stole the MVP.
Yeah, the guy
Um,
that was bad because it was like that was just like a real kick in the teeth for poor Ronky because even though Ronky won resoundingly, because I mean they were literally going at each other with hammer and tongue. They were literally trying to beat the living snot out of each other. But in the end, it was just it's just for poor and painful suffering. It's just he couldn't keep up with Ronki.
Yeah, I mean it's going to certainly be hard with. I mean, is the basically the one of the worst teams in Blood Bowl. Unfortunately, he's certainly working hard with them, but it's always going to be hard against like just even a standard team like Humans is generally going to have the game. I do love the fact that he's still throwing the Noblars.
Yeah,
Looks like 4 landing attempts in this, so keep it up. I always enjoy that.
yeah. Also, if we look at the block dice as well, it wasn't too bad for painful suffering, but he had mostly pushes, and that might have not helped his case.
Yeah, there's certainly a dearth of powers that you really need to reliably taking people down because a lot of the time you're not going to have block on your ogres, and so both down is worthless.
Yep.
If it's the very end of your turn, it might be okay, but most of the time it means you're going down. It's the end of your turn, so you really need to be hoping and praying for powers and defender stumbles.
Yep. It's the same case with Ronki. He had a lot of pushes as well. So it was kind of a pushy affair, but when hits did happen, some people were getting hurt.
Yeah, you can see the armor on Ronki was like 60%. It's like equivalent to what else? So the Mighty Blow was obviously doing some work there. The injuries weren't too bad. He got away with 16 out of 18 successes for his injuries. So he's probably could have been like a little bit like me in my last match, just laid out on the field. And if that had converted a bit more, I think we might have seen a little bit closer scoreline. But yeah, he wasn't getting painful suffering was not getting the kills he needed to kind of turn the tables.
No. And considering Ronki's team now is starting to shape up it with a lot of guard and mighty blow and tackles, that's not bad, but I feel like with all the guards, that screams out, kill them.
Yeah, I mean, having that much, that's quite impressive actually, the amount of doubles he's got on alignment, but that much guard really does start to snowball because once they start standing next to each other, you just can't get rid of them because you try and punch one guy and the other two are providing assist to him, and you need to try and work down an entire line, just get them down to then get at the player you want to get at. It is really quite powerful. He's got a lot of mighty blow and some tackle here, so he's certainly slowly building up this team to the point where if he gets a few more level ups, maybe one spare player, he'd have a decent team for the playoffs and the finals because he was going to have enough tackle to take on teams like myself and Gajiro, who have a lot of dodge. He's got enough block and guard that he can take on some of the tougher teams as well. I'm not so sure about keeping this thrower that he's got that's lost some armor. He's only got one level up. I'd probably ditch him and get a replacement if I could because he hasn't invested that much SPP into him. But, different strokes for different folks.
Yep. And that is we're not done with our analysts yet, gentlemen. We've now done week 9, so we're going to look at week 10 where 2 matches have already taken place, which was Better Than Humans versus Painful Suffering.
Yeah, I was impressed that Painful Suffering managed to get a score here, but saddened by the fact that the Nobler who got the MVP died.
Yeah.
Again, another one of these deaths.
It's becoming a bit of a bad habit. If we look at the ball, Painful Suffering had most of the ball. They've had most of the occupation and everything. It's just the elves with elven bullshit again.
Yeah, they get the ball, it's just go on.
Yeah,
it's out of here.
But the first thing is, though, for Painful Suffering, not only did they have one death, they had two. Two died.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. One was Hope, and the other one, I believe, was Harmony? Yeah, it was Harmony. Harmony was the other one. So in a way, this was kind of an SPP fest for both teams here. Because both
that's actually interesting. I just did a quick check. 0 kills inflicted by Better Than Humans. So those were probably all Noblars falling over for being tripped or being thrown to their deaths.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. There was a few throw teammates. So I suspect some Noblars were used a little offensively, thrown into high off cages, and they didn't survive.
Yeah. That was the thing. The two devs. Let's be honest. When it comes to Nobblers, they're a dime a dozen. You can easily replace them with quickness, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the downside is for... Nobblers is if you've got any Nobbler that has a skill, you want to keep that guy alive as long as possible to try and make them worth something.
Yeah, it's always hard with Noblars because they're worth so little that even a single skill in them greatly increases their TV, and you want to try and hold on to that TV because your ogres are going to inflate it a lot.
Yeah.
But if you do get something nice on them, you want to keep them alive. But anyone just looks at them sideways and they are flattened immediately. So it's a cat and mouse game you're playing. As soon as you get someone who's good, try and keep them from being murdered.
Yeah. But as I'm looking at the block types for better than humans, I mean, they hardly did anything. All he did was just a few pushes. I think I could tell this match was mostly about a pass game for him than it was a punchy game. But when he did get the pals, well, they were effective.
Yeah, it seems like this is probably going to be surgical strikes, very elf surgical strikes, but otherwise just backing off, backing off. It seems like the weight of blows was certainly coming the other way, but they just managed to kind of basically survive and
Yep.
wear out the blows. Probably could have suffered a lot more. I mean, 2 injuries inflicted, 3 KOs. That's not that bad against an ogre team, especially with this many ogres now. So I
Yeah.
suspect there was quite a few. Let's have a look how many
Yeah.
dodges were made. Dodge. Yeah, there was almost 40 dodges.
Yeah.
So yeah, I suspect he was just pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, and avoiding the damage. Um, so yeah, that's. I mean, you can't. It's the right thing to do. You don't want to get into a brawl with ogres. So props to him, but it does make life a little bit hard for the ogres.
Yeah. And for painful suffering, they'll have to get a new Nola, which he just has enough to do. I mean, he's still got that strength 2 Nobler and that movement 6 Nobler still alive. They've not died yet, which is a bit surprising.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as we hop over to the Ponzi Elves, who haven't upgraded their players yet, so they haven't upgraded yet, which is Captain Marvel hasn't got his upgrade yet. But Four has been injured. He's missing next game, which is going to be very important for a lot of people.
Yeah, that is a huge miss next game. Now, obviously, their throws are still really good. They're agility 4 with safe throw and pass. So out of the box, they're great. But it does limit some of the longer plays that you could reliably do, 2+ long bombs and things like that. Won't be on the cards as much.
Yep. And welcome our final guest, Mr. Bright Ops. Welcome, welcome, my good man.
Hello, sorry it took so long.
Oh, don't worry, we're just finishing up
I've,
the recaps of 9 and 10.
fair enough.
Yep, but we'll get back to your thoughts on some of these things, but well, you can actually think about this match, which is between the Better Than Humans versus Painful Suffering. What's your thoughts?
Hang on, I'm just bringing the thing up because I will admit I have been a bit distracted by like actual Dungeons and Dragons let's plays that are on YouTube at the moment, so I haven't really been able to sit down and watch some of the matches that this week.
Not a problem.
I suspect we'll probably see tackle from Captain Marvel that level up. They're facing Amazon's next, and he
Ooh,
doesn't have any tackle in the team yet. So I
ooh,
suspect we'll probably see a tackle unless he gets a really nice doubles or a 12 or something.
yep,
That's my suspicion.
yep. We'll have to wait and see. But so once Bright's back up, we'll head back to number 9, guys, so Bright can have his input on each of the matches and on his thoughts. So it should be interesting to hear what he's got to say, because it might get interesting.
Um, don't really have a whole lot to say on 9 because, as I said, I've kind of been a bit distracted this last week, so
Hmm.
I
Well,
haven't
we'll
really had a chance to sit down and watch matches properly.
well we'll start with your match versus the Strickland family. Give us your thoughts. What did you think of the match and how you handled it against Scythe?
I was honestly surprised it went the way it did.
Oh,
To be perfectly honest, because I'll admit it started off somewhat rough. It was a somewhat rough beginning, but once I actually started to pull ahead with the score, it just sort of I was kind of just waiting for Nuffle to try to just put the boot down as it has been doing the last couple of weeks, but no, got away with it pretty well.
yep. And Russian Trump is still alive.
Indeed. I
Yep.
tried to get him a centaur to add to his bone throne, and Despite the fact that we did actually manage to kill one, we didn't quite, due to the apothecary.
Yeah.
It's not only alive, but it was also not the right skink that actually got the killing blow. Which, what can
Yeah.
you say?
It happens. But yeah, let's go with the Rehensibles versus Sterling Stitches. Your thoughts, Bright?
Sterling Reprehensibles versus Sterling Stitches. Well, I'm always happy when elves lose. Let's just be honest there.
Okay. But I bet you're happy with the death that occurred against the Dark Elves.
Oh hell yes, it's the same thing. Just the only thing that's better than the elves losing is when an elf dies.
Well, the next match was the Cheerful Chastities versus the Midgard Raiders, which was Johnny versus Big Dog. Your thoughts?
Yeah.
What'd you think
I
of that?
was honestly surprised by this one.
What?
Just
What? The fact that Nuffle
because
give poor Big Dog such a booting?
somewhat, it's just more the fact. I mean, no disrespect to Johnny. I'm going to be going up against him this week, but I've seen just his reign of luck for most of the season. The fact that he was able to win against, I believe I'm right in saying that the cheerful chastisers are they're a chaos team.
Yep.
Yeah.
The fact that he won against that is with the Norse is impressive. Yes, because I know that yes, I will say that a Norse team that has had a chance to level up and gain experience can be devastating.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, as I said, I've seen Johnny's season so far.
Yeah. And Johnny still has those 3 players with armor 6. I don't know why he hasn't got rid of them yet, but he's running the risk with those 3.
Yeah, I'm appreciating the fact that he's keeping them simply because it's adding up his team value. I actually have less team value than him.
Next is the Warhammer Locust versus the BMS Cheer Squad. I take it you watched this one with great interest after what Gladius did to the Amazons.
A little bit. Though I will admit, I'm not considering what we've seen from the Amazons this season. The fact that they won, not a big surprise.
True, but
Because yes, but yeah, I think it's the fact that they only won by 1. It was a 1-0 that made this an interesting match.
true, but also with Deborah and Mary Jo now out for next game, and Deborah having an armor injury, that's going to tip the scales against Gladius.
Oh
So,
hell
no, not
yes!
Gladius,
Oh hell
Gajira, it's Gajira. But it will tip the scales against Gajira now because with Gajira having Deborah now low armored, she's not going to get away with half her shenanigans as much as she has been.
That is kind of an interesting thing because armor, the Amazons do not have much to begin with, so losing a piece of armor is, by most rights, that player would be gone. But Deborah is actually fairly experienced already.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can see the pros and cons with that one.
Yep.
Because she's gained enough experience where just booting her out of the team just isn't. It's not ideal.
Yeah, it's not an instant choice.
Yeah.
Although, there are 2 ways this can be taken. Either he'll play Deborah a lot more cautiously from here on out, or alternatively, Deborah will develop a death wish.
Possibly. Now the next one was Serial Killers United versus Better Than Humans. What's your thoughts?
It's always a sad thing when I feel sad for the simple fact that the High Elves are doing so goddamn well.
Well, they're not doing well than orcs or dark elves or humans.
Maybe, but it's just more on the leadership board. Just the fact that he's managed to go from being below the human team to actually being 4th in the league on the ladder.
Well, to be fair, none of the other matches have been played yet, so that could quickly change.
True. There are still matches to be fought and all that, so
Yeah.
we'll see
Yeah.
what happens. But yeah, they've managed to claw. They were knocked fairly low down, but they've managed to start clawing their way back up.
Yep.
And it's not unfeasible that they can make it that depending on how things go from here on out, they could make it to the top of the ladder.
Yep. And the next one was the Amber Knights versus WWE, and what did you think of that one?
It's the Amber Knights WWE. I haven't seen that one actually.
Well, I've watched the match, and as I said earlier, this was a match where the Dwarves actually did well. They held out. They stonewalled the Amber Knights throughout the entire game.
Yeah. That's right. Sorry, I will admit I haven't seen this one myself, but I've completely forgot that WWE is the substitute for Ben, was it?
Yep.
Yeah. So him coming in mid-season against the Amber Knights, who have probably some of the most experienced motherfuckers in the league as it is, with their bloody blitzes.
Wow, you hate them, don't you?
They are frustrating. They are frustrating sons of bitches.
Well, there
But
goes.
it is impressive that I will say it is just a fact that the Amber Knights have their blitzes are probably some of the most leveled up players in the league. As in, there's a very real chance by the end of this, some of them will actually have reached the max level.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in a single league, is impressive.
Well, I mean, you.
But
Well, there goes my advertising. Thanks, Bright. But anyhow.
But the fact that they managed to stall it into a 0-0, good on him. This
Yep.
is a damn good Dwarven team.
Yep.
Because that is not an insurmountable thing to do.
And the next match is the Goth Clan versus the Goddamn Rats. Your thoughts?
Anyone really surprised? Like, really?
Yeah, it's a broken team versus the very nasty looking orcs. It's going to be brutal.
Just even if the Skaven team was in top form, it's one of those cases of, yeah, it's always going to be in the orcs' favor. Just even if the team was whole.
Well, to be fair, I mean,
Yeah.
I only got only one kill out of it. I didn't kill this entire team.
True. I mean, but then, to be fair, I'm pretty sure that the goddamn Rats may actually be the third undead team of this league. Just there's so many of them have died, and yet they're still fielding players.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I mean, like Nobblers, Skaven linemen are very cheap to get.
True.
And last but not
And
least,
finally,
Wonkies versus Painful Suffering. What did you think of that match?
yeah, Painful Suffering is living up to the name.
I mean, he got a kill. You can't argue that. He got a kill.
I never said that painful suffering living up to his name does not necessarily mean he's not causing pain to the other team in the process. I'm pretty sure that's really all he can live for at this point, is just to hurt everyone else.
Well, that usually works. And now that we have now caught up, we are now moving on to number 10, which is Better Than Humans versus Painful Suffering. Now, this match was played early today, so I don't know much about it. Like I said, I've only gone what I've read. What do you know about it, Bright?
I haven't seen it myself. But
Well,
from what I saw of the results of it, the damn elves managed to get a few pretty good levels up.
Yeah.
I think one of them got a movement speed, or is that Painful Suffering? I know someone got a movement speed up.
I believe it's Painful Suffering got the movement speed up.
Yeah,
But-
a goblin, wasn't it?
Nobbler, yeah.
Yeah, one of the Noblars.
Yeah, right. The snotlings. Right,
Yeah.
right.
But the thing about the Better Than Humans is this was the biggest factor. Captain America is out for week 11. He's out. He's out.
That is true.
Yeah,
And they're going up against
Amazons. It's a big match, and he needs to have that player there, and he's not there anymore.
I'm not gonna lie. Next week's match between Better Than Humans and Amazons is gonna be a damn good one.
Oh yeah. But I feel sorry for Painful Suffering. They suffered 2 deaths on their roster, which was a bit harsh.
Yeah,
But
I didn't see the deaths on theirs. I guess I didn't notice that.
yeah,
Hang on one second.
I've
Coming
looked
back
at
up.
the like Painful Suffering and the statistics, and it shows 2 deaths sustained.
Yeah, it's not
Yes.
inflicted. They were either trips or they were thrown to their death or something like that.
Yeah, we don't know yet. Once the video does come up, we'll have an idea what happened. But
Even I'm sorry. I'm having a quick look at the actual results. Yeah, I noticed. What you mean. The 2 Noblers, and the real sucker punch there is that Vane Hope seems to have been the MVP for his team.
Yeah.
that's kind of happened. Novel's been really a dick with some people with the MVP, like giving it to a star player or players that have died. It's kind of giving them the good kick on the teeth.
I wasn't aware that star players could get MVP.
Yeah, in the goddamn Rats match, it happened.
Seriously?
Yeah, take a look.
Holy shit!
Take a look. You won't believe it, but take a look. I gotta hear this.
Well, I'll freaking be. I wasn't aware that was an actual thing.
Yes, they can have it as well.
Huh. Good God, that is probably on par with having MVP go to a dead player.
And speaking of a dead player, we're about to talk about this match. The Warhammer Locusts versus Syria United, which ended in a draw, but for poor Maz, a zombie who died got the MVP.
It seems to be a theme.
Yeah, Nuffle seems to be very much yeah. Yeah, admittingly, this one probably hurts a bit more simply because not only was Frankenberry the zombie who died, not only had they actually leveled up already, but the MVP actually leveled them up a second time.
Yeah.
Oh God, that hurts. That just hurts.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a match we didn't see because Glad didn't stream it, so we'll probably will see it eventually. But I'm looking at the dice rolls, and the Warhammer Locusts had a lot of work to do. They had a lot of work to do, while Syria United was being quiet in this match, but he managed to get a draw out of it.
That is true. However, I will say, yes, Frankenberry's death is painful. I will give just no denying it there. It is just painful, but as did get fairly well in that's at least 2 of the Underworld's players. But I wasn't aware that does Underworld have a Grenadier, or is that...
No, that's the name of the player.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I just thought, wait, Grenadiers are a Goblin team. What the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, Grenadier and a Throw-Up have both had a decrease in movement.
Yes, but also that's not the only thing. They're missing next game, and their Week 11 game is against, if I recall, where are they?
Painful Suffering.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. And losing a block Goblin and a thrower, that's not good.
No.
Oh,
No,
good
admittingly,
lord.
yeah, I will admit, we'll probably talk about that particular match next week, analysis. But let's be real, that one's gonna be interesting in all. I'm not sure who's gonna win that one.
Yeah. Well, now that we've done the actual things, before we go up, Molt, do you have anything to say about that match before we move on?
It's just interesting at you look at the armor rolls, and you can see. I'm not sure if there was a lot of fouling with a lot of assists, but Maz's armor was 47%, paper thin. So my suggestion is probably a lot of fouling was going on based on why we don't know what happened. I suggest
Yep.
that's probably either that or Nuffle hated him. And the other thing was the block dice this is kind of a match of ineptitude. Both of them had quite a few skulls. There's like 40 skulls for the entire match with only 24 pals. So both teams were kind of just slapping each other a bit there, but apparently the armor was still low. So slapping each other with paper armor apparently does something, or maybe some knives are coming out with a lot of fouls.
I mean, to be fair, an underworld team is the exact team you want to be fouling with.
Yeah.
So
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. But anyhow, we'll move on to the fun matches now, which is the weekly analyst and prediction part now of the show. And we're going to start at the top part, which is your match mode, which is the Rehensibles versus the goddamn Rats. Rats!
Yep, so I'm down 2 players from some missed next games. I'm going to probably wait on buying a replacement lineman for the guy who died, just because I don't want to buy someone and have him die. If I can let a loner take a death for me, that'd be great. And I always buy him if he gets the MVP. It is a risk, though, because I might end up with a crappy name. But yeah, looking at this team, I think he's going to end up with about 200k in inducements because we're both down players, but he's down by like 4 players, I think, in terms of loners. Yeah,
it's
worse
than that. It's worse than that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, wait, no, you're right. It's 4 players.
Yeah,
I thought just all split up, so
he's
down to shove them all together.
Yeah, but the same token, though, I'm afraid for you is you're going to suffer the same problem because your 3 players down and you're going to get 3 loners yourself, and you're going to be back to
2, I think.
No,
but yeah, I'll end up being about 200 team value above him. So he's going to have some kind of inducement. We don't know what it'll be. It may be something like a star player. Maybe it'll be a wizard. The thing to look at would be block. I've got quite a bit of block, so I should hopefully be able to win the bash. So if he's smart, I'd probably avoid getting into too much of a brawl and just use that nice big rat ogre to punish my players if they expose themselves.
Yeah. And Grim, piece of advice: don't take star players because it proved in our last match it didn't work for you. Take extra training, Apothecary, Wizards, even hell, a Halfling Chef. Ain't but a star player because they did not work for you in the last match against me. Right?
Yeah, I would certainly recommend an extra reroll for a team that is still early like this when you don't have much development. It's kind of less value because it can have a lot of loners in the team, but having an extra reroll will help the dice, especially. Having only 2 can be a little bit harsh sometimes if Nuffle says no. Other than that, Wizard is always good against elves, and it's always good to have a babe if you've got armor 7 because you're going to be knocked out eventually.
And Bright, your thoughts?
Honestly, having a look at the state both teams are in at the moment, I will admit that I think, as you said, that the inducements is probably going to be is going to be important going forward. But let's be honest, the odds are very much in the Dark Elves' favor. Because yes, a lot of you have a lot of block, and so does the surviving few rats that have made it this far and haven't died. And he does have a gutter runner with block and a point in strength, which will probably help keep that one alive a lot longer than most. But yeah, I feel like that this is very much going to be a case of it is definitely going to be an uphill battle for the goddamn rats.
So, unfortunately, Moat, you cannot predict this match because this is your match. So, Bright, what do you think the score be?
I'm going to guess 2-1 in favor of the Dark Elves.
I'm going to go for 2-1 Skaven.
Ooh, split decision.
Oh, hello, Oathmaster. Welcome to the stream. You're a little late, buddy, but you can catch up and all that. But, right, so we're going to move on now, and this is going to be a family affair. The Battle of the Dwarfs. between WWE and the Strickland family. Now this will be interesting. Dwarf v dwarf.
Yeah, a lot of
that
communal hatred.
That actually does sound like a WWE like wrestling faction war thing.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
It
It sounds like something you'd see at a pay-per-view.
yeah. It sounds like Team WWE versus Team WCW.
Hmm.
But enough of that. This match is going to be interesting. This is not going to be a normal affair. This is going to be a straight up slugfest. Let's be honest.
Oh hell yes. It's dwarves. It's dwarf versus dwarf. You're not going. This is not the kind of battle where you expect long passes or everyone dodging out of the way and all that. This is gonna come down to who the hell's left standing.
I mean, Oathmaster's just said to him in the chat, he said he's hoping that the more dwarves get killed, the better. Now, this is where the interesting part comes in, gentlemen. I think we could both agree the inducements for the normal dwarf team could play a key factor. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, they've got some interesting things going for them. They've got 2 Troll Slayers, which means the Bell Centers are not as safe as they would have been otherwise. And they have got more block, I think, man-to-man almost.
Yeah.
So they've got a slight edge in that regard. They both have someone with short hands, luckily, so they both can get a hold of the ball. So it's going to be heavy drives against each other, but yeah, what I would have said, a new team just coming in is probably going to get beaten by the more developed team. But in this case, I mean, it's dwarves. Dwarves are great out of the gate. I really think we could see an upset. It's going to be a brutal match. I think Nuffle may have something to do with this, whether it swings one way or the other. Otherwise, it's going to be a brutal bash down, probably 1-0 either way grind.
I believe the 2 key players in this match are the Bull Centaurs and the Slayers. These are the main key players, I think, in this game. Whoever could dominate out of those 2 will probably have control of the match.
I will make the arguments that this is going to be a close one. I think we can all agree there.
Yes.
But I will admit I'm not doubting out Scythe with the Chaos Dwarves simply because, yeah, he's had time to develop his team a bit, and only 2 of his people do not have block. So he can at least go toe to toe with the dwarves in that regard, without worrying about without both down turning against him too badly. He also has Clyde, the hobgoblin with block and a bonus point of strength.
Yeah, true.
So I do agree with you that the fact that the Slayers are going to be important for the stock standard Dwarven team.
Yeah.
And the fact that one of his blitzes has leveled up and has Mighty Blow now, which is probably going to be fun if he can actually knock someone down. But yeah, this one seems a bit too close to cold. I feel like these 2 are going to be very evenly matched. It's going to come down to if Nuffle hates someone.
Yeah, but we also got to add the fact that WWE is not afraid to pass with the dwarves. Now that could be a big factor.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting because you'd think of dwarves playing slow and Chaos Dwarves being relatively slow, but I mean, against a dwarf team as Chaos Dwarves, I'd be using those Centaurs' distance to just get away from them. Just run deep. They take 2 turns to catch up to you. If you can break through, you just run as fast as you can. Risk it with the sprint. And the same with the dwarves. If this guy's having to play long balls, then the usual grind may not be in place. So we may see a really interesting match. It's probably going to either be a absolute grind or some crazy mixed match of centaurs running down the pitch while dwarves are throwing balls along. It could be really interesting. So I'm very, very fascinated by this one. I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
I'm
much a case of this because of the way the players go. You can't help but feel like this is going to be a match of skill and just brutality.
well.
It's
Well, at the moment, I'm holding the record for the long bomb at the moment. I could see a dwarf doing the long bomb if WWE's desperate.
Hmm.
But
Oh, hell yes.
anyhow, gentlemen, your thoughts on the scores?
All right. Personally, I'm not entirely sure what the score is going to be, but I feel like it's going to be a tie.
You think it's going to be a tie?
Yeah, it's either going to be like 0-0, 1-1, or something like that. But I'm not sure the exact number, but definitely a draw.
Yep. And I just got a message from Di say he was sorry he couldn't make it for the stream, but I'm just saying to him now, Di, if you're watching, mate, we're roasting you at the moment. But anyhow, back to business. I agree this will be a tie. I think this will be a 1-1 draw because both teams are dwarves. They're hard to shift, hard to break down, and it's going to be a very tough match, I think.
I'm going to go
Like, and you have
1-0 for the Dwarves. I think this
which
Dwarf
one?
coach, he seems quite... so the normal Dwarves, the non-dark, the non-chaotic. I think this Dwarf player is, from what I've limited amount of seen, is quite competent. Knows his stuff. So I'm going to say he's going to edge out maybe with a 1-0, just because his team is a little bit more dedicated to the bash, and I think that's probably 9 times out of 10 what this game is going to come down to.
Yep. And welcome to the chat, Dietono. Welcome to the chat. And yeah, this match is going to be. This is the match. I think for this week, this is the match I think everybody will want to watch. The Dwarf v Dwarf match. See how that goes. Would you
Oh
all say
yeah,
that?
I'll agree on that one. It's either going to be very boring or very exciting. It's one of the two. It's going to be very hard to tell which one though.
Yep. Now we move on to the more fun part. The BMS Chile squad versus
Yeah.
Ronki. Now this match could go either way. Now that two of Gojira's players, his two best players, are out.
I wouldn't necessarily say that his two best are out, but definitely his number one's gone.
Yep.
Because Deborah's out of it, and Mary Jo isn't the. I'd be hard pressed to say that she's one of the better ones because. But yeah, the fact that he's down two of his blitzes, because he's definitely leveled up his blitzes really well.
Indeed.
So far.
Indeed.
But so being down two of them is going to be painful.
Yep. And here's the funny thing, right? I mean, I've took a look at it, and by looks of it, he will not get. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's going to get one loner. So one loner's going to join his team. So
Which one? The
Amazons.
Be the Amazons. They've got.
Yeah, they need a loner.
They wouldn't have
10. Yeah, they need one loner.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm being All right, I was thrown off by the gap in between the.
Yeah. So they need a
Thing.
loner, which will up the points, which actually means that I believe that means Ronki is the highest team value team. That means Gojira is going to get inducements. Now that could be interesting.
Yeah, he's going to get almost 300. So that could really swing this. Just looking at the teams, putting player skill aside, you can certainly see that the human team has got the bash to really hurt these guys. They've got tackle on 2 mighty blow pieces with block, tackle on another guy, a good amount of guard. You would expect that this match is going to be the point where the Amazons start falling behind. Just because they start off really strong, but they start falling behind. You'd expect this match to be, without those key players in place, that the grind is going to get them. But if you take your player skill into account, Gajira has shown that he's a great coach. So yeah, it's possible. I think even reasonable to suspect with the inducements that he can probably pull off a win here. But yeah, it's going to be probably more painful because it's going to you can see the snowball effect. You lose a couple of key players. You against these bigger teams that have got more block, you're going to lose a few more key players. I worry that this is going to snowball a little bit like a Wood Elf snowball that we saw with Ben earlier.
Yes, but I also have to put in the fact as well, Ronki has an uncanny ability to get lucky from time to time against some of the better teams. And I think this is one of these cases where he might, luck out in certain parts, but Ronki, if you ever watch this video, buddy, here's a hint. We want you not only to win, but murder the Amazons brutally. That's what we want. Would you agree, gentlemen?
Yeah, get a hold of that ball and then just start wrecking them.
Yeah. I mean,
I will say, in arguments of the Amazons, I know for a fact that he has skill, but he also, I've noticed for a fact that he has ridiculous luck as well. But that may have also just be because Nuffle fucking hates me.
yeah.
Like, I still remember the fact that he managed to throw the ball halfway down the pitch while it was raining, and managed to not only successfully throw it, but successfully catch it as well, in order to rob me of actually pulling ahead.
Yeah. But anyhow, gentlemen, the scores. What do you think?
This is a hard one. I'm going to say 2-all. I would have given it a 2-1 to Romkey, just because considering the amount of bash he's got, except for the fact that Gujira has had a pretty good run of luck and skill, so I think he's going to be able to hold it together.
I'm going to do 3-2-3 with the 3 in favor of the Amazons. I feel like this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Indeed.
I feel like the way that it's going to be played is Gaijin is going to try and get as much points as possible before Romkey can damage his team enough to just walk it.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Ronki, but I do believe there will be a mass of casualties from both sides.
This is the kind of game where shenanigans is going to happen.
Oh, yes, there'll be some shenanigans. Shenanigans indeed. And now we move on to what I like to call the battle of who's the luckiest git or who's the unluckiest git in this league between yourself, Bright, and Johnny.
And Johnny. Yeah, I know.
Right.
So first off, if you look at the team values, you're actually very close to each other. So we probably won't see too much in the way of adjustments that matter unless someone dips into their coin purse.
I'm not.
Honestly, the Norse team.
I'm not.
Are you?
Yeah. I put it into my stadium.
And the Norse have no money, so there'll be no inducements this time. This is going to be straight up a fair fight.
Well, as relatively fair as a bunch of naked men versus giant man-eating lizards can be.
Well, let's start looking at Johnny's team, the Norse team. Now, he has all blocks, which we all know it's standard part of the course with the Norse, but we have to be worried about the Wolfens. One of the Wolfens has block. Now, that can be troublesome for you, Bright.
I am aware of that. Yes. That is something to be concerned about.
However, he still has those 3 players that has armor 6, which I'm still shocked he hasn't got rid of them, but neither the case.
Yeah, I feel like just having them around is it's just inviting me to just go hack the bone on them.
However, the worst play.
I'm not ruling him out, though.
Yeah, I think the worst thing for you is the Yeti. He is your biggest threat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those bloody claws.
Moat?
And the fact that he can actually go against my people toe-to-toe.
Moat, what do you think of Johnny's team?
I think, you guys have already hit the nails on the head, but I think the thing to watch about this team is the fact that you have, again, you've Wolfen weapons, but you also got 2 Berserkers with Dauntless. Wait, no, it's Dauntless, it's Jump Up. I figured, no, it's the runners that have Dauntless. So, no, he doesn't have any Dauntless on the team. So, yeah, actually, it's kind of limited to the Yetis and Wolfenwerfers that are actually going to be the damage to the team. So, definitely need to keep them at arm's length. And again, this Armor 6, I think this is going to end badly. I think he's got too many players in this team that's inflating the TV. You can only fit so many players in the field at one time. So, this block isn't as nasty as it seems. This Armor 6 is going to get exposed, and then anyone on the the bench with this armor 6 is then going to be brought in to replace the poor guy who died with only 7. Well, now 6 is even worse. I think this is going to probably spiral against him, just because Lizardmen are pretty damn strong. They're going to be able to get off the 2 dies that he needs to get off. I'm interested to see if the block factor is going to be as big as it could be, with only 2 block on the Sorai and some tackle here. That's probably not going to get much value against his team.
I know. I'll admit the most reason I picked up tackle was I had a string of dodgy.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So I felt being able to hit that enemy was a bit more important than the block.
And
under the circumstance.
And I'm assuming that Mr. Trump, who hasn't been impeached yet, is going to go after the Yeti for his skull. Is that right?
If the opportunity arises, I will. But I feel like at this point, considering just how many number 6s and all that deep 6s he's got, I feel like Trump's goal right now is to thin the herd a bit.
Well, if he doesn't get impeached in the process, your thoughts, Molt?
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see a 2-1 in favor of the Lizardmen. I think the fact that when in doubt, the Skinks just bolt and run for the end zone will mean he'll be able to get touchdowns even if the bash starts going against the Lizards. I think we'll probably see a couple Skinks go down, maybe an injury, maybe something permanent. But I think we'll also see probably 1, maybe 2, maybe even deaths, but definitely permanent injuries onto this team, because this Norse team just does not have the armor it needs. 7 is bad, 6 is horrific. Unless he jettisons these guys before the match, I'm going to say we're going to at least see probably a permanent injury and probably maybe even a kill.
Well, gentlemen, what's your predictions of the scores?
I can't.
Yep,
you can't say anything because it's my bloody match.
Yeah,
I'm going to reiterate 2-1 to the Lizards. Maybe a 3-1 if the bash doesn't go badly against them, but I think they can handle a 2-1 quite easily with those Skinks because they're just really good Skinks. They're so quick.
I'm going to break the internet here because I'm going to say this, but I believe Johnny will win 2-1 against the Lizardmen. Sorry, Bright, but I feel like Johnny might have that little luck factor on his side and might pull one on you because Nuffle seems to hate you a lot of times.
And I will admit, the mountain of block I have to go up against is going to be problematic if things do not go right.
And I've just broken the internet because some people in the chat shout, "What?"
I'm even willing to admit myself that just considering how my team has leveled up as it is, Johnny might just win simply because the way that my team is leveled up isn't really designed to go against something like the Norse. It's designed more for, say, the Amazons or just pick whatever elf you wish to name.
I've just reading the chat here, and Overmaster's backing me up, saying he might be right because I predicted his 4-0 stomping against the Necros a while ago. But anyhow, we move on to my match, which is the Sterling Stitches versus the Goth Clan. Well,
this one's going to be a tricky one.
Yeah, a lot of bash. I think the lack of werewolves is going to be a big factor. You want to have all your werewolves out on deck against orcs. He does have some nice players. He's got Mighty Blow White with agility, but he doesn't have all his werewolves. So he's going to get some inducements. For my match against him, he pulled out 2 werewolves, one as a standard mercenary and one as a star player. So we may see a repeat of that in some degree, and I would probably encourage something like that because having Claw on the field is really important against orcs.
Yeah, but don't forget though, Molt, and Brian knows this, I came second place last season with Necromantics. So I know how these guys function.
So you know how they work. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Bright, you know that better than anyone with me in that Necromantic team last season. Sorry.
I'm trying to remember which team I stole that white from. Was it Sterling Stitches or bloody? Serial killers.
I think it was serial killers you did it.
Yeah, I just double checking because I don't.
Yeah, it was serial killers because you didn't face the. I think you faced the Stone Stitches a little later and you didn't get much out of them.
Yeah, I haven't faced the Sterling Stitches yet. I faced them. They're literally the last match for me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. To be honest, on my side, I mean, he doesn't have much in the block department, and he's got a werewolf now with dodge and block, which is a. I mean, speaking from experience, that is a devastating combination. And he has an.
Yeah, that werewolf is definitely who you want to get that ball to for the touchdowns.
Or you can give it to.
yeah, the one werewolf he does have is a pretty scary one.
Yep, but you also got a right who's actually AG4, which is now that's an interesting one.
Yeah, you could certainly set up some pass play with that white and that werewolf, which they kind of make the ghouls somewhat redundant, which is unusual because you usually see the ghouls as the ball players, with occasionally the werewolves coming in when they're not busy killing people. But you actually kind of have set up here where the werewolf and the white can work really well together, and the ghouls are just kind of superfluous a little bit, which is probably good because you've got a lot of tackle, so they don't have much in the way of survivability in this game.
Well, one of the ghouls.
Admittedly, Plague Robber can be particularly useful since he's got the extra point of movement.
Yep.
So he's.
But you also got to look at the fact as well. He's got a ghoul that's got movement 8, that's no slouch, when you think about it.
Yeah, that's Plague Robber.
Yep.
That's the guy I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's good. He just doesn't have the block that the werewolf has. So unless you're making a sure thing touchdown, if you're going to be hanging out near the end zone waiting another turn, you definitely want to have the werewolf doing that work because he's going to have the blodge you need to try and stay upright.
I mean, on my end, I've got now 3 tacklers now, so I've got and Mighty Blow, and 2 of them with Mighty Blow, so I can't deal with the werewolf. It's just I'm hoping to either knock him out or permanently put him out. That's what I've got to try and do.
Yeah.
But also, I have a goblin now because Glad has been nagging at me. Where's the goblin? Where's the goblin? But I finally got him. Took a while, but I got the little bugger.
Yep.
Old Scar
and we fully expect for him to be dead by the end of this match.
I expected to be dead in the first turn. The first turn he shows up, he's going to be dead. But
I look forward to the fouls.
Oh,
indeed.
He's not going to be for fouling. He's going to be my main
touchdown.
He's going to be my main touchdown player.
Excellent.
If I can survive the onslaught, of course.
Yeah, it's actually this is quite an interesting team. So you've got the mighty, you've got the 1-2 touchdown, you've got the Hail Mary, so you can move the ball around a bit unexpectedly. So it is great for just putting the fear of God into your opponent, so that they have to play a little bit more defensively, pull back, keep someone back just in case something the ball or some player suddenly go deep and get the ball.
I do believe I think I'm the only person who has a level 4 player in the league at the moment.
The only other one I think is Deborah and the Amber Knights Blitzer. They're the other 2 kind of star players in the tournament, as far as I know.
Yeah, but I'm going to take a quick look to see if that's the case. Yes, Jeremy, he's in level 4, same as me, and from the Amazons. Yeah, Deborah's the other one, but Deborah I think is now weakened now because of the fact of what Glad.
She might not be long for this world anyway, so it might be down to 2 after this.
Yep. But anyhow, gentlemen, what's your thoughts of the scores?
This one's.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to say that this one's honestly going to come down to who flipped to the coin flip, honestly, because I feel like this is going to be the kind of match that whoever gets to go on the offensive first, it's going to very much alter how the match is going to go.
It's understandable.
Because if the werewolves can get their claw to score, I'm not going to say a score simply because I can't. As I said, it's going to come down very much to like the coin flip and how things are going to go. It's too close for really to give it a score, but I will say I feel like the Goth clan might come out the winners here simply because, well, not only have you been doing really well and you've leveled them up really well and all that, but simply because the coach in question, I know for a fact, is experienced with the necromantic. So if anyone's got a good idea of just what to expect from the opposition, it's going to be here.
Well,
Cool.
well,
Go ahead.
well. To be honest, I mean, I am experienced. I know how they work and how they function. And you're right, the contrast will be a factor, but I do believe it's going to be one of those cases where can I get rid of that werewolf quick enough and try and stonewall him out? That's what I've got to try and do.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably say a 2-1 to the Orcs. I think the bash is going to go eventually the Orcs' way, short of Nuffle doing the same thing as he did in my match, where the Necromantic teams, their armor held up extremely well, one failure the whole game, and the other team, my team, getting wrecked. I suspect, short of that, it's going to be a reasonably, not simple, but reasonably easy win for the Orcs to just keep the drive going. Just make sure you hunt down a couple key players and you're good.
Right, and we're at the last match, which is the Cheerful Chastisers versus the Amber Knights. And I believe Oathmasters, you're still in the chat, so you're gonna listen to this. I have to admit, though, this match,
Yeah.
I felt so
I'm just gonna
sorry.
say this up. I'm just gonna say this up front. This one's gonna be an Amber Knight victory.
Yeah,
Because let's be honest. Let's be honest here.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, if that Chaos Warrior, the one that's on the Chastisers, was still around, the tentacle one, I think he could have given the Blitzers some problems. But since he's not there, this is pretty much the Amber Knights to lose, pretty much.
Yeah, I think the Ammonites have got so much more ball handling and more than enough block and wrestle to be able to handle this Chaos team at this early stage of development. I think the Chaos team needs to cut these two Beastmen. I'm sure they're one SPP away from a level up, but Armor 7 is not what you want in a Chaos team. Cut them while they're young so they don't develop and get any more MVPs, and try and keep that team value as low as you can to get as many inducements as you can.
So it's that even though if he had to cut both of them, he would have to bring on a loner if he cut. Actually,
I would recommend it. I mean, a loner that sits in the line of scrimmage and gets beaten up, that's fine. Doesn't have to do anything fancy. He's there to get punched. 1 or 2 is fine.
Yeah.
You don't want to have half your team as loners, but that should be fine.
Indeed.
Although to be said, Cookie Monster and Count Von Count are both interesting to behold.
Well, no. Well, not really, because any Chaos team with the Assault will have at least one Beastman who's going to have extra arms and block to be the main ball carrier. It's normally the cut and paste try method, but I feel that because these Chaos Warriors don't have many skills, only one of them's got block, which is like a little worrying. That could come back to haunt him.
Oh yeah. Being down Tinky Winky is also going to, as you said, it's gonna definitely. It's not in his favor.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing short of divine intervention or nuffling is going to help the poor Chastise. Sorry, Pig Dog, but we're being honest here. This is one I think the Ammonites are going to cause a massacre on you unless you can either get a lucky run or something major happens.
Honestly, as we said just before, you'd be better off getting rid of Oscar the Grouch and Ernie, because just being able to add an extra 120 gold to 1,000 gold to your inducements will do much more to help you in this match than they're going to.
Oh, dear,
I think, especially with a team like this, Bretonian team, which has good access to Dirty Player, you don't want to have any Armor 7 laying around because it's going to get murdered pretty quickly. As soon as he wrestles you down or bashes you down, those players are prime targets to get a quick removal. I think we're probably going to see a 3-1, and I'm putting the 1 in there as a kind of a little bit of a generosity in case Nuffle is helpful, in favor of the Ammonites.
Bright?
Yes. That said, I'm not going to go 3-1 because I feel like this is going to be more of a 2-1. That Ammonites will probably win this one. Just simply because they've got the enough skills and good players and all that they can that they'll be able to dominate a slightly underdeveloped Chaos team.
Hmm.
But that being said, Pig Dog, I want you to kill as many of the bloody Bretonians as you can. That is literally the point of Chaos. Your goal here is not to score the ball, it is to murder pompous assholes.
Wow, you really do hate them. I mean, early on you were swearing to the rafters at them.
No, the reason I'm saying this is simply because I'm going against the Bretonians next bloody week. The more damage you can do to maul this bloody team, Pig Dog, the better.
Oh man. Well, I'm going for a 1-1 draw because I got a feeling Nuffle's gonna have some hand in this shenanigans. I'm going for 1-1 draw.
I mean, let's be honest. It's not the first time we've seen it.
Yep. Anyhow, let's go check out the leaderboard, gentlemen. And as you can see, so far, the Amazons topped the group with myself being right behind, you, Molt, being in third place, and the Elves are fourth. But
Yeah, I believe I'm 13.
nope,
believe I was
you're
13.
12.
Oh, 12. Oops. My bad.
Yeah, Painful Suffering still holds the bottom, which, this is the surprising part. He has a win, but yet Maz, because Maz has drawn 5 times, he's above him. How that works, I don't know, but...
What can we say? It would appear that Slow and Steady does occasionally win the race.
How the hell is he even above them? Even Overmaster cannot believe the ties he's got. Heck, I can't believe it. But, yeah, I mean, we're now reaching what I like to call now, we're reaching the final run now, guys. We're at week 10, we got 5 games left. We are now reaching what I like to call the final stretch.
Wait,
So,
what?
we are down, we've got 5 games left.
No, sorry, I saw you. I understand what you mean. I'm just double checking. That doesn't add up.
What doesn't add up?
I was just checking the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's where we're going to go next, actually.
Oh, okay. I see.
So let's start.
I see what's happened.
Yep.
I see what's happened.
So let's start with. So let's look at the Hall of Fame first. Now, before we end the stream, we have Jeremy as the most experienced player next to Deborah and Gulok, which kind of makes sense. These 3 are the level 4 players, so makes sense. And Russian Trump is 4th in that category.
Nice.
Yeah, Russian freaking Trump. He has to die.
As people have said before.
In the most violent player, this belongs to Sugar Bear from the Serial Killers United, along with Kablanc, from Ronky's Warriors, and yourself, Bright, Alien Overlords.
Sorry, just taking a moment, because apparently my Hall of Fame's being a little weird, because it seems that the actual teams for the actual season we're playing is being listed under Losers 2 rather than actual Season 3.
Alright, what you do with that is you go out and you come in, wait for it to fully load the main page and go backwards.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And somebody's just left the chat. It was Multi's.
Well, it's not me.
Molt, he must have had some disconnection issues. So it's just you and me, Bright. But yeah, the most violent is that, and Ronky has a second player who is also in the violent category. Yeah, bye Molt. Yeah, we'll see you later, Molt.
Yeah.
Thanks for appearing on the stream, buddy. So we got that.
Yeah.
So the next one is the best receiver. Oh, is that Molt back?
Which is currently, let's see, which surprisingly is currently being led by an orc and a rat.
Yeah. Are you on that scene now, Molt? Oh,
Yeah, sorry, my computer just suddenly froze and looked up. I'm just jumping back in a Blood Bowl now.
yeah. Oh my God, bad luck there, mate. But we're
I'm
just
glad it's not inside you.
yeah. But
It
we're,
happens.
it happens. We're looking at the best receivers now, and like I said, you're right. An orc is in the lead, then a rat, and then multiplayer, which is Bruce Willful Damage.
Yeah, my runner.
Yep,
He's been doing a lot of work.
yep. He's your best He's one of the top 3 receivers, and in fourth place is another one, Antonio Bernardo. He's the
Yeah.
fourth player. Now this is interesting. The fifth player is actually Johnny.
Mm,
Really?
Yes, Johnny has a player
yeah.
who's fifth in the best receiver category.
Yep.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yeah. We've got another orc underneath Johnny, so you've got 2 orcs in the top 10 of the receivers. Come on.
What? I'm a passing orc player.
Let's
Oops.
2 rats as well. 2 rats as well
Yep.
have made it to.
Yep. And now we're moving on to the serial killers, which, believe it or not, Russian Trump is topping the list, right behind Zor, and I'm right behind you, Zorgid and Kira for the BMS cheerleader squad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You want to know what's really funny?
What's that?
Because if you actually look at the other 20,
Yep.
just admittedly, it's kind of a draw. Basically, 2 to 19 is a draw
Yeah.
between basically people having at least 1 kill.
Mm-hmm.
But number 20 is an orc with 0.
Yeah, Wazdaka.
Just throw him in there to complete the 20 set.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, all right, you've got 3 players in the kill bracket. I have
Oh
one.
yeah.
I have 1, 2. I have 4 in that bracket.
And the real sad thing is all 3 of them are fucking skinks.
I know, that's what's
Yes.
hilarious. It's all skinks. That's what's so hilarious about it.
Admittingly, in the case of Clinton emails, that one wasn't actually a kill via stomping either. That one was literally her punching a snotling in the face and killing it.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works.
Yeah.
But anyhow, let's move on to the best interceptor, which at the moment that belongs to Duke. He's the only one who's done it.
Yes, a chaos dwarf.
Yep, a hobgoblin no less. Treacherous swine.
Yeah. Indeed. You'd think that in a league where pretty much almost all the elves are represented, there would be more interceptions. But no, apparently they've been shown up by a dwarven team.
Ooh. Master just said something about you, Bride. He said, I quote, "The skinks are more powerful than the pussysauruses."
Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure if we go to look at biggest brutes,
which is next, which is believe it or not, which is painful sufferings, insanely creeping grasp. Then Arnold Schwarzenegger, Arson Schwarzenegger,
and Tank from the Strickland family.
Yep.
Rather disappointed because Alien Overlord's Thesaurus used to be on top of this letter.
Yeah, but unfortunately now he is 5th under Ram.
Yeah. There he is. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to Alien is just gonna have to maul some bloody Norseman.
Well,
I'm
Johnny.
Surprised there's not more orcs at the top of this list, actually, for biggest brutes. There's 2 dark elves at 2nd and 8th, but then the orcs are 10th and 13th. Are you one of those passing orc players, not so interested in the bashy?
I believe it or not, I am. I'm very more passy than bashy.
Interesting.
Yep. But yeah, Joe has a player that's actually very good. He's actually a good brute. Surprisingly, but
speaking of other surprise,
yes, the throwing category.
Yeah, you've beaten out 2 high elves in order to be top of this letter. Congratulations.
Yeah, put it this way, that long bomb I did against the goddamn rats, that was to show this is how you pass. That was a masterclass in how it's done.
Yeah. Probably one of the other surprising things is, because I will admit, flat out admits that lizardmen are not really a throwing team.
Yep.
The Sauruses have, with 1 agility, can't throw for shit, and the skinks have stunty, which works against them.
Yeah.
That being said, I still have 2 people on the damn best throwers top 20.
Yep. And also, I'm going to have to rub it in to Dai's face, but since Captain America is out for 2 games, I think I might extend the passing score. So far, you can't catch me.
We'll find out soon enough.
Yep, but here's the funny thing. In 5th place is Duke from the Strickland family. He's actually the 5th best passer in the league.
League.
Yes.
It's not what you expect from a Chaos Dwarf team at all.
Especially for Hobgoblin, of all people.
I guess it makes sense. He's got at least 3 agility, so...
Yep.
At least, so him picking up and being able to throw the ball isn't ridiculous.
Yep. And now we go to the
That
best...
being said,
now
we've had, what? Was it 3 or 4 elf teams in the league so far?
Yep. 4 teams...
And from the looks of it, the High Elves have only managed to get 3 people in the top bloody 10 of the best throwers.
Yep.
And with the reprehensibles only having 1.
Mm-hmm. And now we move on to the best rushers, which is Deborah, Toucan Sam, and the Grail Knight Jeremy, are the top 3. Now, with Deborah out, this is a chance for Toucan Sam's already played, so there's not going to be much. But as for Jeremy and Gulak, who are the other 2 people that can catch up to them, this could change the standards a bit in the rushing category.
True. I will admit I would like to say I'm surprised to see him here, but I'm not. That Russian Trump has managed to get 8th in the top 20.
Yeah, that is a bit
as far as
surprising.
Russians go.
Yeah. Well,
hell, he's 17th in throwers, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Russian Trump gets everywhere.
That's why he's going to get impeached when someone gets a hold of him. Oh, come on.
They can try.
Come on. I had to say, that's what's going on right now. Oh, man, that's some satire there. What, your thoughts, Molt? Because you've got one in the top lot. Your Bruce Wilful Damage is 5th.
Yeah, so that my primary ball carrier, the runner, I think this is a little bit representative of the fact that the last couple of games, I have not been on top of the things that I want to be on top of. I've been scrambling over a ball most of the match. There hasn't been much running around, so I've definitely fallen out of the top placements for this. I don't think I'm going to catch up in the time left. Getting up to the 400 mark is going to take a lot more effort, so I think I'm out of contention for this one. But I do look forward to seeing you and Jeremy fight it out for top spot potentially.
We'll see. Now the best passers. Now this is interesting. We've got myself at top, obviously. Captain America and a Skaven.
I'm actually looking at the top 20 because you can see the scores and the numbers and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, you've got because you got the top, to give you people at home an idea. The top passer is Glutek, who has had 15 passes. Captain America has 10. Luke, or however you pronounce it, has 9. Number 4 is Bruce Willful Damage, who has 5. Then it just sort of keeps going down from there.
Yeah, and then Norseman is taking the 5th spot.
Yeah, with 4.
Yep.
Yeah, so it says a lot just how much you're actually passing the ball.
And the funny thing is, the Ben and Humans, reality-wise, they've got 3 players, yeah, but not as much as I was expecting. I was expecting at least 4 of them.
All right, next one, best scorers.
Yep.
Currently being headed by Grail Knight Jeremy, followed by Deborah and Arsene Schwarzenegger.
Yep. And the Amber Knights also got the 4th place with Grail Knight Nathan.
And the Orcs have secured 5th and 6th with Wazdaka, Gutsmuck, and Glukik.
Yep. And
then after then, it's sort of like a, let's see, from 7th to 16, it's basically sort of a tie between 4s, between who's gotten 4 touchdowns. And after that, it's just 3s.
Yep. And then you have Zoged, who props up who's the strongest player, props up the entire league with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Jeremy has gotten fucking 9 touchdowns this entire this run, followed shortly by Deborah with 8.
Well,
It's impressive. I'll give him that.
Well, I think that score's going to radically change because with Deborah now out, Jeremy's going to run away with that.
Probably, provided, of course, that the Chaos doesn't get lucky and kill Jeremy.
Next is most match played, which is pretty much everyone who's on 10, so that's a skipper.
Yeah.
Yep. Next is biggest punching.
Like everyone who hasn't missed the match is good.
Now the biggest punching bags is a freeway tie for first, which is Small Respite, Peaceful Life, and Dog.
So painful suffering ends the Midgard Raiders.
Yeah. Are the biggest punching bags.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that an Orphanwerfer is up there. A strength 4 character is getting, bullied. You'd think it'd be a random goblin or something.
No, and surprisingly enough, right, I'm looking at this, but Ben Humans are in this, the Strickland family's in this, the Rehensibles are in it, yourself, the Midgards, everyone's in bar one team. And that's the Orcs, the only team that's not in there. The Orcs and the Amber Knights are the only two.
Having a quick look.
Are the only 2 teams that are not in it.
I'm just having a look myself. Oh, I'm not in it either.
Oh yeah, I just noticed you're not in it. Notice the dwarves, like the WWE is not in there, but to be fair, he's only just got in, so he won't be in this.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
I mean, I will say that I know for a fact that I had players who were on this slot, who were in the top 20 before, but it seems that other people have gotten injured enough that they've managed to slip off the radar.
Yep. And that is it, gentlemen. That's it for this analysis. I'd like to thank both Moat and Bright for being part of this stream. If you want to see their channels, I can't post a link right now, but you know where to find them. If you go to the YouTuber Lag League, you will find their links to their channels. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you, German, for coming on.
It was a pleasure.
No problem.
Yep. And Glad will get off his lazy backside and actually do the next week issue. And not leave me in the lurch like he did this time around.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So hey folks, if you like the videos, you like the stream, you know the drill. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the dinner bell. I'll see you in the next analyst or video. Catch you later.
Well, see ya.
Bye.